What's up, guys? Another episode of DTV Fit. This is episode number 4. I'm your co-host, Chuck Roche. Other co-host, Matt. And we have Ben Kelly here. He owns BKAthletics in Fairfield, Connecticut. It's going to be an awesome episode. I'm excited.
Yeah, you're our very first guest.
Yep, very first guest.
Yeah, on the DTV Fit podcast.
I feel very, very privileged, boys. Thanks for having me here. It's a great studio, and who would have knew you have such an awesome space just in Bridgeport here.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, we got lucky. Mike, super producer Mike is also with us as always behind the scenes. So very excited for today's episode, man. This is Ben. Thanks again for coming in. This is going to be awesome. So yeah, like Chuck was saying, BKAthletics, right? CrossFit gym. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you got started and how BKAthletics kind of came about?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm originally from Australia, and I came here to the States only for 3 months initially. I was just going to go surfing throughout South America and head home.
Nice.
But I've ended up staying 18, 19 years now. So, journey started in Australia, playing rugby and playing sport, rugby, cricket, surfing, and ended up playing rugby semi-professionally in Australia and had an opportunity to sign a contract. I really wanted to travel, and I knew that I was okay at playing rugby, so there was a good avenue to leave Australia and play footy. Ended up signing a contract to play in the south of France for a year in the professional league, and had a great trip there for about 10 months to a year. A really great cultural experience and cultural change. And then I had the opportunity to play rugby in the States. So that was my ticket to come here and travel, I thought.
Nice.
Came here to play for 3 months, won the national championship. And then the following year, I was on a travel visa, went back and forth, and ended up a year later, I've won 2 rugby championships in both codes. Rugby League in the summer, and then the following fall or spring, we won the national championship in rugby union. So I won't bore you in the differences of rugby union and league, but there's 2 different codes of rugby.
Tony would know.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, Tony was.
Rugby league's a better game than union, so there'd be lots of people that wouldn't agree with me, but so I ended up here playing rugby league, and I didn't think that I'd be. I thought I'd just surf throughout South America and head home, but rugby kept me here. Rugby league kept me here, and I. 6 months turned into a year, and a year into 2 years, and then I was on a athletic visa to stay here, and it just evolved from there. And then I got involved in CrossFit and BKAthletics.
When did you get involved in CrossFit?
Yeah, so about 11 years ago now, or 12 years ago, I was living in Milford, and a good mate of mine, Jason Lydon, who owns CrossFit Milford. At the time, he didn't own CrossFit Milford, but we did a workout together and just fell in love with it. Just with the first workout, I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" Just the intensity and the feeling was pretty similar to playing rugby league, getting hit, and just the intensity of the sport, the fast-paced nature of it, and the challenges within it. I was like, whoa, what's this? So I just thought it was a perfect next phase of my life after playing contact sport all my life into CrossFit, which is basically like playing rugby without getting hit.
I got to say, I remember 2006. So I was also a combat conditioning instructor in the military. And we were pulling up those exercises back in 2006, right off the website, doing stuff. They paid for my CrossFit Level 1 certification while I was in. Yeah, so while I was in, they paid for it. And I ran a little martial arts training facility that was a nice little setup. We had all the bumper plates, everything, and we used to put the CrossFit workout of the day up there. I don't even remember when I lived out in California, there being a CrossFit gym.
Right.
And when I first moved back here in 2011, the only one in Fairfield was BKAthletics. I moved back in 2011. No one knew what functional fitness was. Everybody's still doing curls, still doing the normal
Girls for the girls.
The normal workouts in the gym. And there was one CrossFit.
No, yeah, you need that. You still need that.
Still need it, you know. But there was one gym in the area that was doing it. It was BKAthletics, and you know, everyone else in town was like had no clue what it really was. You know, I moved back here January 2011. I just remember. Now there's a few, but you were basically the first one in Fairfield County, I think.
Yeah, definitely one of the OGs for CrossFit. There is a few more in Fairfield now, but I think it's being involved with it for so many years too has helped me evolve and progress somewhat. I shouldn't say away from it, but you know, BKAthletics is more than CrossFit.
Yeah.
And I like to think we do it really well. And keep my members and clientele happy and healthy, and that's the key point. I think the key thing,
yeah. And the community. What's the difference in the community in your gym and let's say in Orange Theory?
Yeah. So, well, definitely the community aspect is key. It's not like you're just going for a workout and you don't know each other. The members in my facility, you know, everyone lives in Fairfield. Everyone's around Bridgeport or Westport, and everyone gets to know each other very, very well. I haven't really been to Orange Theory, but we definitely have some similarities there now in regard to we're doing. We utilize heart rate technology, which I've been using for the last 18 months myself personally. We're on a heart rate tracker for every workout called MyZone, and I am looking to get some TVs on the screen. We're in the process of that, where everyone's heart rate's showing on the screen, and also use another technology that I'll talk about later if you like, is ErgZone, where I have all of my clients are pacing. I'm just a huge fan of pacing and helping people get fitter by intra-set, intra-workout, intra-round awareness, and I'm not a huge fan at all of the 3, 2, 1 go and just throw people into a mix and blindly training. I think there's more to it, and there's a deeper there's a lot more to fitness than just a workout, and I like to think we're a next level fitness facility and a next level CrossFit facility. Yeah,
that sounds awesome. So, can you go a little bit more into that intra? Could you say that again?
Intra-workout awareness.
Intra-workout awareness. Go a little bit more into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like to. I think there's a lot to be had from. I think CrossFit done right is pacing. And there's two ways to train. There's tension training, where you're locking your breath and you're bracing under the barbell before a load. And then there's dancing training, rhythm dancing.
That's basically what I'm training. That's what I do.
The breathing rhythm, where and it's not taught by a lot of gyms and a lot of coaches, where the breath is so important, and where it gets lost, and I just don't think a lot of people do teach it, is how to breathe doing a kettlebell swing, how to breathe doing a burpee, and a lot of people don't know that there's 3 to 4 breaths in a burpee, and depending on the cadence and the speed,
or a renegade row, there's a few too, just when you're in there, it's all about that. It's keeping everything going, setting that rhythm. That's why when you said that, I was like, that's how I train. Like I call it changing gears.
Yes.
I call it changing gears when I'm running hills or when I'm doing a renegade row or I'm doing a snatch, doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to change the rhythm of your breathing, everything else like that.
Right.
I've always called it changing gears. Just like, Barney style. I'm all into just keeping things like a caveman,
Absolutely.
But it's all about that. Nobody really gets that. It's all about that breath control.
Yeah, it is control. And I think that people, once a client understands how to breathe, on a burpee, on a box jump, doing a pull up, doing conditioning. Just to start with conditioning for now.
Yeah.
Once they understand that there is a 2 breaths to every kettlebell swing, there's 2 breaths to every thruster. You have to breathe out on the bottom. You have to breathe out on the bottom of a wall ball. It becomes easier and it's not so fearful. And I think that if once that is understood, and I teach it generally when I do PT sessions with clientele before joining a group, or if I'm just doing PT, I have a client that I'm just doing full-time personal training with. It's just teaching them the skills of breathing, and then the intensity can come after that. But they have to understand that they have to be aware of their breath and not restricting their breath. I'm
No,
talking
right.
about like breathing like a racehorse and
Yeah.
being comfortable with that. And
Mhm.
it takes a little bit of time
Yeah,
for people who
Exactly.
to be
Yep.
comfortable with like,
Because then they start focusing on
Right,
it, or they're like
yep.
breathing out when they're supposed to be breathing in. I always say, have a comfortable breathing pattern.
yeah,
Come up with your own comfortable breathing pattern. Breathe a song, breathe this, breathe that, just to start somebody off with learning how to breathe
right,
while they're working out.
right.
You know, I'm just like, come up with a comfortable breathing pattern,
Right.
you know, and then work on it from there. Then they can, you know,
Yes.
that's it.
Sustainability. And so I like to think that like CrossFit for one is just two things. It's that tension training and the breathing training. And I think that all the nuances in regard to the movements and the technicalities and the the how to do it
Yep.
can be better understood by, you have to brace under a barbell when you're doing loads of upwards about 60-70%
Yep.
above. There's a tension aspect of bracing,
Yep.
not
Right.
breathing while you're moving the load. And then when you get on the dance floor, on the mats, and you're doing the conditioning,
Yep.
it's a rhythm of the breath. And I think that it's pretty basic in those two. If you can just say it's tension and breathing, it's it can be better understood. Sorry for diverging there, but
No, it's good.
coming back to the intra-workout pacing and awareness, it's about. I'm just a huge fan of helping people pace better, and we pace every workout that we do inside of the gym. I'm not really. Let me phrase it with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So if we're doing a workout together,
Yep.
and it might be a body weight workout, and Chuck's going to crush it, obviously, right?
Yeah. Pretty good.
So I'm sure you're good at everything.
Oh,
Beast
he
that
is.
Murph. Beast that Murph.
It's ridiculous.
Well, coming to Murph at our place in a few weeks. I love to have you. So I'm not going to reward the person who finishes first. What I do with my clientele is we track our rounds, but either with a phone or over the app that we use called ErgZone. And after each round, we'll just take your time, especially on the first one. I like to ask them just to walk out of the gate and don't let the workout attack you.
Right.
You kind of like tread warily. Take a few breaths and then hit your timer or your lap timer. And then, for example, if we're doing a 5-round workout, at the end of the workout, I say, okay, Chuck, how close were you between first and last round? And you go, BK, 5 seconds. And I'm like, okay, I was 10. So Chuck is wins the workout,
Right.
Because he's done less. His rounds are tighter. And if we can do that every day, when people do that every day, it becomes the norm. And now you're chasing consistency and pacing. And I find that if you are consistent with pacing over time, you're going to get fitter. It's just as simple as that.
Right.
You're not going to get slower and get more fatigued.
Yeah.
And it's innately hard for the brain to understand, to go, okay, you want me to keep pacing at the same pace, even though I'm more fatigued,
Right.
which is really challenging.
It is.
But if you do it every single day, it becomes very, very powerful. And I've really got a gym I'm very proud of, because they believe in the process of that, and I think they really enjoy it, and it's really fun. It's really good to see too. As I mentioned, like, you've got 3 fit people in the class, but then you've got people a lady who's 55, and you've got some lady who's very deconditioned.
Right.
But she goes, yeah, I was 2 seconds apart between 1 and 5. Yes.
Yep.
There you go.
That's awesome. So we're rewarding pacing, and it's just a special way to train. And I think that's what we do at my gym. That's I think
great.
Separates ourselves.
Well, it's great for that one person too, because it's great for them. It doesn't make anyone an individual. It doesn't really put people in different standards.
Yep.
It's the amount of improvement that one individual's getting, and it proves it every time, which keeps them coming in and keeps them working out and getting better and better results.
And healthy.
You know,
right? And healthy.
Yeah. So
not training erratically, not testing, and not like just blindly training without awareness.
Yeah, no purpose really.
No purpose, right? So I love to have a purpose, and I think that in the classes that we teach at the gym, every class has a purpose and an aim, a direction.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That was great.
And also, for me, because you both have obviously tons of experience in CrossFit. Me myself, I really haven't partaken in any sort of type of CrossFit workout before, really, maybe with Chuck once or twice, but I've not really delved into CrossFit as a training kind of modality. But for you guys and for BKAthletics, when you have clientele, let's say new clientele walking through the door, do you find a lot of the time like what's their main purpose for being there? Is it losing weight, or is it wanting to take on CrossFit as like a new form of training and they want to do it for the long haul, or is it kind of like a combo of both?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that the majority of the newcomers to the gym are generally looking to lose weight, look better naked, like we all are.
I remember that billboard.
So,
by the way, don't mind me. How old are you?
I'm 50.
He looks fucking great. Excuse my French. He looks great.
Honestly.
That's right. That's goals right there.
Yes.
Tony,
goals.
the
I'm
Australian
41.
Australian Tony Orton.
I
told you he's the Australian P90.
I always said, hey, I know he's older than me. I want to keep it going like he does.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. Yeah.
So that's great.
It's good for me and Matt because we look at you guys and we're like, dude, we gotta keep it going.
Individuals come to the gym. Yeah, I like to take everyone on their merits. So if someone contacts the gym to train, it's a free consult and an hour consultation, one-on-one, just talking about lifestyle and their nutrition and background. And then I just do a movement screening, just looking at their push, pull, bending, squatting ability. And then we just layer a plan based off that. But generally it's people who are looking to
cut weight.
Yeah, looking to cut weight.
Yep.
There's not a lot of, we changed our name from CrossFit Performance 7 years ago. We were the first gym one of the first gyms to actually rebrand ourselves. And then a lot of gyms have done that. So
I know a lot of trainers that have done that too. A lot of CrossFit athletes have done it. Like I follow Ryan Fish. Like, he's huge on doing programming for so many CrossFit athletes, but he's not branded with CrossFit. He had a fallout with them.
Right.
And this guy is, he's killing it.
He is.
So,
yeah, that's great. So I like to assess, don't guess, basically. So I don't throw anyone in my gym into just a workout and test them at all. I don't like creating any fear factor with people. I think that's it's a surefire way to scare them off.
Yeah.
So I think over the course of years, we may have created a reputation that, well, by separating myself from CrossFit in regard to the naming of our facility, I think we separate ourselves from the normal facility where, okay, you're going to go to CrossFit and it's kind of dangerous and whatnot. So nothing could be further from the truth in my place. So I definitely like to assess each individual on their own merits and meet them where they're at, and layer a plan for either personal training, generally personal training up front with a lot of my clients, well, all of them, before joining group, or just staying with me personal training or doing individual design. I've really started to evolve as a business to offer multiple offerings. So there's personal training, there's the personal training leading to group, there's personal training leading to individual design coaching, where I actually design programming for clientele and they come and utilize my gym. And that's a big part of where we're at now. So yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned nutrition too, and we kind of want to take a little deeper dive into that with you. So for you, like,
what is BKAthletics doing? Like, what makes, I know CrossFit, I don't know what their big thing is now. I remember it used to be Paleo, but what type of nutrition do you guys try to stick to over there?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Because there's a lot of keto, there's the paleo, and there's a zone,
Yeah, I don't promote any of those. I think that the one thing that I do, educate my clientele on is whole foods, grass-fed meats, eating the best possible whole foods you can. Personally, I'm a huge fan of gluten-free. I think that by training and exercise and the other stresses in your life, you shouldn't be causing any sort of inflammation via gluten. And I think that for the majority of the population, it's not great for you. So there's that, and animal protein at every meal or snack. I'm a big fan of high quality proteins, variety of those. And I'm not someone who promotes any sort of like different. There's gluten-free and paleo. I think that is a great way to go for people looking to lose weight with a lower carb. But again, it all comes back to the assessment for me, where if I'm meeting with you as an individual and you are looking to add lean muscle mass. Not that I'm saying that you're looking
No,
to.
of course, yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, there'll be a nutrition plan based for you that is going to be completely different to someone, the next person I meet. So I like to just meet people where they're at and go from there. And I really, my passion is education, and helping people just grow over time, teach them how to fish. In saying that, our members have asked me to do a nutrition challenge or a nutrition reset for the next few weeks, maybe over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So quite a few years ago, I used to run a challenge called Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle, which is just basically lean meats and fibrous vegetables in abundance. No real limitations on the fibrous vegetables, and maybe just a starchy carbohydrate after a workout.
Potatoes and
potatoes.
Just after a workout. So we're going to we're probably going to run a nutrition challenge.
Nice.
So hopefully that answers your question there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned
I just know there's always things are always changing, and there's in a lot of I'm all about the whole foods too.
Yeah.
I'm not a certified nutritionist, but I do my research. I do have some certifications, and I always just point towards that. I try to wipe out my clients. I try to say keep the dairy low, things like that. Yeah. It depends, Same type of idea, the gluten-free, the inflammation.
Yeah.
Also, performance is so much so what you're putting in your body. If your body's trying to digest what's sitting in the gut for 24 hours, your performance is not going to be good at all.
Yeah.
And it's so much.
Do you find that you have a lot of your clientele asking you questions about before they come in what to eat and after?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I'll give them my feedback. There's clients train at different times of the day with my classes and also my personal training clients. So it just depends on what time of the day they train at, where I'm communicating with them about how best to plan for food. But generally, when we're doing any sort of conditioning, I'm not. I don't ask my clients or really want them to be eating too much in the morning at all. I want them to have an empty gut for any sort of conditioning, because it's just going to limit your ability to pump blood to the extremities, and your gut's got to think about digestion, which takes energy, detracts from actually doing the working out. So I personally work out an empty gut all the time, and just take branched chain aminos and some good organic black coffee, and I'm off to the races.
There you go.
A little bit of creatine and beta-alanine as well. But
yeah, absolutely.
So again, I think that for me, it's more about being personalized with people, and what's good for you may not be good for Chuck. So it's just a matter of just meeting them where they're at. And I used to be a coach that used to go, okay, eat this, do this, do that. But I think I've mellowed somewhat in my old age, and just looking to, just looking to meet people where they're currently at. Sometimes, if they're in need and they need some changes, we can have a discussion about that. But I think it's just the biggest thing for me is just being making sure I've got a personal relationship with each one of my clients and helping them live their life better. Yeah,
absolutely. That's the main key. I think that's why we're all into fitness, honestly, at the end of the day, right? So,
what can you explain the CrossFit Open and the CrossFit Games?
Sure.
Yeah.
What is that? I think I'm a pretty good one to speak about that one. So the CrossFit Open runs every year. It used to be 5 workouts 5 workouts over 5 weekends in February or March. And then the last couple of years, it's gone a little bit south in regard to that. They changed the date of it and whatnot. And then now with the new owners of CrossFit, or a bit of a change last year, this year just gone, there was, or just last month, they held it over 3 weekends, which is fantastic. I mean, the 5-week Open was very draining. And in years gone by, for my division, they used to have where you had to get a really super high score to basically had to do the workouts twice. To repeat the workouts twice, once on a Friday, once on a Monday. This year they haven't done. This year they And last year they changed it where, for me, from the open in my division, a certain amount of people have gone through the next phase, the online qualifier. So 200 in years gone by. So the CrossFit Open would be the first phase. Then they would take 200 people in the world in my division, in the Masters division, to the next phase, online qualifier. And then they take the top 20 of the CrossFit Games. This year, they held over 3 weekends. They said, okay, the top 10% in the world in my division go through the CrossFit Games of all registrants. So that was 700 people. So I didn't really have to, honestly, I'm not boasting, but I didn't really have to try too hard. I just had to do the workout kind of and not have to worry about redoing it again, because the scoreboard is reset. And now my qualifier is actually the next weekend for the CrossFit Games. So, so 700 people went through. I qualified 60th in the world in my division, and
that's awesome.
So now the slate's wiped clean, and they're going to release five or six workouts next Thursday, and I have the weekend to do those workouts, and the top 20 go through the CrossFit Games. So that's the phase or the progressions of the CrossFit Open leading into the Games for the Masters division. For the individuals and the teams, they actually this year, which is awesome, they've now got it's more like a season. They had the Open, then they had the quarterfinals last week, which was an online qualifier. And then they move through to a semi-final, which is going to be 10 semi-finals, some in person and some online because of COVID restrictions still. And then the CrossFit Games will be in Wisconsin in August.
Nice.
I had the pleasure of qualifying in 2016 for the last CrossFit Games in California. That was an awesome buzz.
I bet.
I'd love to get back there again. This year's not going to be the year. I'm not focused on it. I'll play this weekend, and I'm going to do best I can, of course, but it's definitely not a focus for me this year. It's more about the gym and business and just focusing on life.
Yeah, for sure.
So the competition phase.
Have you ever watched CrossFit Games?
I have.
It's awesome, man.
It's intense.
I mean,
really
what I like about it is like when they're like, you're gonna row a marathon. I was like, what? Like, just randomly drop this stuff on these athletes.
Yeah. I was there that year for that too, for the marathon.
After I did, I wrote I watched that. I worked my way up to a half marathon.
Yeah.
I got it all saved, but I was like, I'm gonna row a marathon. I never. My butt was in so much pain.
Yeah.
So much pain.
Yeah.
I did it a good amount of time though. It still broke 2 hours.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I did good.
That's great.
But what do you think? Are these still? Do you think they're the best athletes on earth?
I do. Yeah, I do. I just think that the variance of modalities and that they have to learn, like a heptathlete, it's just awesome. It's to be able to weightlift like a national champion, to be able to do gymnastics at the level that these guys are doing it now, like handstand walking, doing obstacle walks, ring muscle ups, and banging out like 20 or 30 at a time, and being able to run like a mile under 5 minutes, and swimming, and it's just unbelievable what the athletes get put through and the way they train. And I just know how they train, and the amount of just the quality of their nutrition, and I do believe they're the best athletes in the world. Also think that Kelly Slater is one of the best athletes in the world as well, the surfer who won 11 world championships. Reason being is that I think that for surfing, it's like the landscape is constantly changing.
Right.
There's never two ways are ever the same. So like to have like guys like in their life, like you're never going to surf two identical waves. Now they got wave pools now, so then
that's a little more similar than being out in the
but
ocean, right?
in the ocean with Mother Nature, oh man, it's like and I grew up surfing, so it's like the power of the ocean and the ability to surf a wave like the way that Kelly Slater did, and to win 11 in a row. Like, I know I'm diverging from the athletes, but like as the best athlete in my lifetime, I think that he's top of my pile. But then let's come back to CrossFit. You got Matt Fraser, who's just retired, and freak of nature. He does 4 to 5 in a row and goes, I'm calling it quits at like 32. So
young guy.
He's got out where the going's good though, and he's on to other business ventures. I think he's cleaning up, so he's a smart cat as well. So, but with CrossFit, I just love it. I love competing. I love the intensity of it. I love the challenge. It's just I love the sport personally a lot. I really do. I think they're the best athletes in the world. I do. Fittest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
I see what these guys go through. I go, okay, nobody else out there gets a challenge thrown at them like that and can handle that, you know?
Yeah, just in the variety of
everything they're doing.
If they go on a weightlifter to a weightlifter, they're going to get beat. But if they go like a gymnast to a gymnast, they're going to get beat. But get a gymnast come in and do CrossFit, right? Yeah. Like without training, and I think it's unparalleled.
Yeah, it's totally different way to train.
All of it.
Yeah, and one question I have for you, like let's say other athletes that play like basketball or football or baseball, even is CrossFit. What would you say to those kind of athletes about CrossFit and why, like maybe they should consider that for their training for those types of sports?
Yeah, good question. So I've had one of my lead questions in consultations and assessments with individuals is what sport did you play in high school and what sport did you play in college, because that can determine what their essence is.
Yeah.
Everyone has an essence. So, for example, if I've got a sprinter, right, who's been doing some like 100s and 200s in college and he's a college sprinter, I'm like, okay, you're going to be a pretty good power athlete, right? So I've got to train the aerobic system better. Where if I've got someone who's been doing marathons, it's going to be a little bit harder to train them because they haven't really got the requisite strength from my general perspective, unless they've been doing gymnastics. And I found that the people who had a gymnastics background when they're young are phenomenal at CrossFit. Like I trained a girl in my gym who walked in my gym from the Sportplex, Amanda Goodman, and she was just a pole vaulter. Not a pole vaulter, she was a vaulter in gymnastics. So all she had done over the course of her life was just run up to a vault, pole, hit it, boom, stick it, and land. So this chick was a great lady, and it was just really good to see the evolution from her, from never touching a barbell to 2 to 3 years later making the CrossFit Games. 2 3 years, maybe 3 to 4, but and now she's evolved. She's living out in Arizona with my old coach James Fitzgerald. Gymnasts are definitely the best, and she's evolved into this amazing athlete. But coming back to her, I think the majority of her training program is just about getting her to breathe better, right?
Yep.
Because she's never been able to do that. So when I meet people, it's about, hey, what'd you do in college and high school? And it's just noticing and just determining where I start with them based off that conversation. Yeah. So, but generally gymnasts are amazing at it. They're good. Yeah. And also wrestlers. Wrestlers are great at it. Contact sport players, rugby players love it. They tend to kind of get into it and they can handle the grind because it's a very, very challenging pursuit.
Yeah.
Right. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So I find the people that have done some aerobic endurance, but more so playing aerobic sport, are powerful and have been through some pain experiences in their sport, like rugby and wrestling and whatnot, are generally really good at the sport. And really good at CrossFit in general and the movements.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else, Chuck?
That's pretty good.
Well, guys, this was awesome. Go ahead.
Actually, no, we kind of already covered it. Whatever. I was going to ask about Greg Glassman's thing and how it affected CrossFit. You know.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he's out. I actually was gonna. As a gym, we took the move to move away from them.
Way before that.
Well, not really. I'm still affiliated with them.
Okay.
As CrossFit Performance. But if I did make a move when he did that, wrote that tweet and whatnot, and certain comments and erratic behavior over the course of a couple of months. But we did move away, which is very, very difficult for me at the time. It was very emotional. But it was great when Eric Rosa moved in and we decided to stay with them for the time being. And he's just a great new CEO for the brand. So it's
That's great.
yeah, it's really good. I think for CrossFit as a whole, he's an affiliate owner himself, and he's it's everything about the program and the sport has actually improved. Like, for example, our qualifier next week, we're getting a floor plan released tomorrow where we've got to set up cameras and we know what equipment's coming out. So it's a lot more professional, which is
that's awesome.
Which is what's needed.
Good.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, it's I was like, when he said that, it's just like, so many people look at that person up above and they look at, little things like that could put a tarnish on something that's good, and it's just, I was just like, oof.
Yeah, it wasn't good, mate, at the time at all.
Yeah, well, it's good. It seems like you kind of got in a better place now with that whole thing. So
yeah,
that's awesome to hear.
All good.
But all right, guys. Well, I think that just about does it. Ben, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Appreciate it.
Guys,
Thanks,
and tell us our audience real quick. Where's BKAthletics? Where can they find you?
Thank you. Yeah, we're at
Instagram, all that.
Yeah, thank you. We're at 101 Kenwood Avenue in Fairfield. And Instagram is BKAthletics1. And my personal Instagram is Benedict Kelly 1.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
great. Cool, guys. All right, guys. Well, that'll about do it for episode 4 of the DTV Fit podcast, along with Ben Kelly, Chuck Roche. Thank you, fellas, once again. And we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
Peace.